Namaste. I'm Lorilyn, and welcome to your first class of the quarter. Today I'll be going over some basic standing poses, which are the foundation poses for any of the poses that will follow later in your practices. So get your stuff together, come to your mat, and come to a seated position. I'm sitting on a blanket for a little bit of hip support. I recommend it, or you can sit on your blocks. And then cross your right shin in first. And take your left shin to the outside. Tuck your foot underneath your right shin. Then catch hold of your knees and just take a little peek and make sure that your knees are equidistant from your hips and that you have a nice triangular shape between your shins and your inner thighs. Like I can take a block and I can slide this block right into that space there. So see if you can do the same. And then you can remove the block. Catching hold of your knees, turn the eyes of your elbows up, and then lift your chest as you press your thighs down towards the floor. Bend your elbows and bring the base of your thumbs to your sternum chest. Close your eyes and bow your head to your heart. As you symbolically surrender the intelligence of your head to the intelligence of your heart. We take a moment at the beginning of our practice to honor those who've gone before us, Sage Patanjali, who wrote the Yoga Sutras 2,500 years ago, Sri BKSI Iyengar, and all our gurus. And we bow to our greatest teacher, the truth and the purity that resides within. Your greatest teacher is within you. Now bring your chin back up to center and repeat after me 3 ohms. So I will say and then you will say. Om. And then bow your head once more back to your sternum chest. Take a deep breath in, feeling the vibration in your body from your ohms. And as you exhale, float the backs of your hands down to your thighs. Keep your palms facing up and your chest well lifted and bright. And then a slow, deep in-breath to draw your chin back up to center. And a slow, deep breath to blink open your eyes. Good. Now we're ready to begin some physical movements. Let's start with a twist. Taking the left hand to the right knee, turning the left elbow up. Bring your right hand behind you, and as you press down with your thighs, lift your chest as high as you can, and exhale, twist. Drawing the belly in towards the spine, keeping the thighs firm. Keep your chin level, and then turn your face to face the front of the mat again, and look over your left shoulder. Pressing down with the thighs, take one more deep breath in, and then return back to center. This is Svastikasana, auspicious pose. Take your right hand to your left knee, turn your right elbow to face up, and bring your left hand behind you. Exhale, press down with the thighs. Inhale, lift up with your chest. And exhale, take your twist. Drawing the belly in to wring out the internal organs. Keep your thighs firm. Look out of the corners of your eyes. Take a deep breath in. And then as you exhale, turn your head once more to face the front of your mat. And then look over your right shoulder. Deep breath in and back to center as you breathe out. We've been sitting in this position for a bit, so we're going to switch the cross of the legs, moving through straight legs. Straighten your legs and open up the backs of your knees. And then bring your left shin in and tuck your right around the outside. Again, make sure you have that space between your shins and your inner groins so you could still fit a block right in that space. Now reach your arms forward and interlace your fingers. Turn your palms to face away. This is called Badanguliasana, or bound finger pose. We're going to lift our arms above our head on a deep breath in and lift. When we lift our arms, it's called Urdhva, upward Badanguliasana, bound finger pose. Belly in and up, thighs pressing down, upper arms next to your ears, elbows straight. Take one more full breath in, let the ribs expand, especially those lower ribs. And then exhale and bring the arms down, turn the palms to face up, and roll your shoulders around. Feel that heat. Reach the arms forward again, and this time take the opposite interlace, the less familiar way of bringing your fingers together, and then turn the palms to face away. Press down with your thighs, inhale, and lift your arms above your head once more. Deep breath here, lifting a little bit higher from armpits to elbows. From elbows to wrists, and roll your pinkies back. Keep your chin level, your gaze soft and easy, breath full and deep. Bring your awareness to your lower ribs. Take a deep breath into those lower ribs. And then exhale and bring the arms down once more. Turn the palms to face up. Give your shoulders a little roll around. Good. Now reach your arms forward one final time. And turning the eyes or the elbows to face up. Keep your palms facing each other, and inhale, lift your arms above your head once more. This time, see if you can take those upper arms past your ears just a little bit, and then take a peek up at your hands. Are they doing what you think that they're doing? The palms should be facing each other, the fingers close together, and pointing towards the sky. One more deep breath in, press down with the thighs, lift up just a little bit higher, and exhale, bring the arms down. And again, give those shoulders a little roll around. This should feel pretty good. Now straighten your legs and open up the backs of your knees. Bringing your hands next to your hips with your fingertips facing forward. Let's take a few deep breaths. Feel the breath move up the front of the ribs as you inhale and down the front of the ribs as you exhale. And then feel the breath move up the back as you inhale and down the back as you exhale. Feel your side ribs as you inhale. Feel them swing up and out and down and in. Connecting with your breath. One more. And then relax your pose. We're going to move to all fours now to a position we call tabletop pose. So make your way to all fours. If you have a blanket and your knees are a little bit sensitive, you can place the blanket underneath your knees for just a little extra padding when you're in kneeling positions. Suffering is optional in our yoga. Remember that. So coming to all fours, spread your fingers wide and turn your hands slightly out just a little bit. Turn them out just a little bit so the eyes of those elbows can come forward once more. And then take a peek between your thighs and make sure that your feet are facing straight back and pressing down into the mat. Now, inhale and gaze up. Exhale and round your spine. Belly in towards spine. Round your back and spread those shoulder blades. Again, inhale, keeping well anchored to the mat. Look up. Exhale and round. Bring your chin into your chest. Just one more time. Stretching the spine and finding a little rhythm in your practice with your breath. Now to your neutral spine. Take your knees a little bit wider than your hips. Slide your big toes together and then rounding your spine, press your hips back to your heels. Now find one of your yoga blocks and let your forehead rest on the yoga block. As you press away with your hands, roll the hips down and take the breath into the back. This is a position called Adho Mukha Virasana, Child's Pose. And it's a place that you go when you need to take a break in your own practice, which can be at any time. Now lift your head up off of the mat and move the block out of the way. Walk your hands over to the left and take a few deep breaths into the right side of your body. Roll the right hip down. And then walking over to the right side of your mat. Keep your hips right over your heels. Press away with your hands and roll the left hip down. Fill the side body with breath. Enjoy your breath. And then walk your hands back to center. Now, if this is a little tough on your knees in this position, you can always take a blanket or an extra yoga mat, roll it up, and place it right back behind your knees. And that'll give them a little bit of extra space. Now come up to all fours. Bring your knees together and bring your ankles together. Tuck your toes under. We're going to take a little stretch for our feet. Walk yourself back and sit back on your heels. Again, if this is a little hard on the knees, go back to your little blanket or extra mat and place it right there between your shins and your hamstrings. And then reach the arms forward. Bring your right arm on top of your left. Cross the arms over each other and squeeze the armpits. Now, if your hands don't come together like this, bring the forearms together. That's just fine. Take one more breath right here. Look straight ahead. And then exhale, release the arms. Bring your hands back down to the mat. Untuck your toes and set back onto your heels once more. It should feel pretty good after that toe stretch. Reach your arms forward again. It's time left over right. I'm trying to cross above the elbows. Bend your elbows, squeeze the arms together, squeeze the armpits, and look straight ahead. Take one more deep breath here. And then exhale, unfurl the arms and bring your hands down to your thighs. Come back to all fours, and if you have a blanket between your shins and your hips, remove it now. And then take your blanket off your mat. And we're going to come to standing for a few standing poses now. Make your way to standing. This first standing pose is called Tadasana, or mountain pose. It's also called Samastiti, which means equal standing pose. So mountain pose or equal standing pose, the same thing. Starting with the feet hips distance wide, I press down into all four corners of my feet. Underneath the big toe, underneath the little toe, underneath the inner heel, and underneath the outer heel. Pushing those points down to anchor myself. I firm my thighs, firm your thighs, lift your kneecaps, draw your belly in, and then reach your arms down next to your sides. This is Tadasana. It's a very active pose. You're drawing the belly in and up, and your gaze is steady and straight ahead. Now let's try lifting our arms in this position of Tadasana. Inhale, slowly lift the arms, eyes of the elbows facing the sky as you reach the fingertips up. Push down into your feet, stretch your arms up as high as you can, and see if you can get your arms right next to your ears. Take one more breath. And exhaling, slowly bring the arms back down. Eyes of the elbows facing the ceiling, palms facing each other. And release your arms down next to your sides. Give your arms a little roll around. Now bring your palms together at the sternum chest. Pressing each finger together, push the base of the thumbs into the sternum chest. This is Namaskar Asana, or prayer position hands. Release your hands with an exhalation back down to your sides. On an inhalation, sweep your arms back up, Urdhva Hastasana. Bring your palms together here without bending your elbows, Urdhva Namaskar Asana. Urdhva means upward. pushing down into the feet, reach up a little bit higher. Take one more breath. And then separate the palms. Slowly return the arms back down to your sides. Good job. Now this next pose is called Utthita Hasta Padasana, or extended hand-foot pose. So I'm going to step hop my feet apart as I extend my arms out to my sides. It looks like this. Elbows bent. Bring your hands just above your sternum chest. We'll do this together. Bend your knees, and taking a deep breath in, step hop your feet wide and extend your arms. Good. Now take a look down at your feet and make sure that they're in line with each other and that the heels are just a little bit wider than the toes. So rather than having the feet turning out, have the feet just slightly turning in. Press down into the tops of the shoulders, reach out through the fingers, firming the thighs. Take one more breath. And then let's go back to Tadasana. Bend your elbows, bring your hands to the top of your head. Bend your knees, and inhale, step hop back to Tadasana. Okay. We're going to repeat that same pose, but we're going to add a little something. We're going to add a side turn to it. With the feet hips distance wide, standing in Tadasana, bend your knees, hands above your chest. Inhale, step hop your feet wide. Take a peek and make sure they're doing what you think they're doing. Now, keeping the arms extended, turn your right foot out 90 degrees. Turn your left foot in about 60. You see how there's an angle on my back foot? My torso is still facing forward. Yours should be as well. Lift through the back of your neck and then turn to look over your longest finger. This is Parsva Hasta Padasana, side hand foot pose. One more breath. Keep the arms firm, the breath steady. And then take a little bend in your front knee to bring the right foot forward and bring your left foot forward as well. Now, if your arms are starting to fatigue, you can bring your hands back to your hips. But if you're feeling some heat in the shoulders and it feels pleasant, keep your arms extended and the muscles tight to the bone. Now, turn your left foot out 90 degrees. Angle your right foot in about 60. Torso is still facing forward. Reach to the back of your head and turn to look at your longest finger on your left hand. Parsva Hasta Padasana. Push back with your upper right thigh. Keep those legs firm. Inhaling, bend your front knee. Turn that foot to face forward. Bring your right foot to face forward again. Bend your elbows. Bend your knees. Inhale and step hop back to Tadasana. Good work. A little shake out. You're working hard here. Our next pose is called Trikonasana triangle pose. A classic yoga asana. Asana are the positions that we're in. That's what they're called, asanas. So Trikonasana is triangle pose. Again, we start from Hasta Padasana, inhaling, step hop out. Check feet. Turn right foot out 90 degrees, angle left foot in about 60. Take your left hand to your left hip. And then take a deep breath up the front of your body and start to reach over to your right as far as you can. Getting nice length along the side of your body. Bring your hand down to your shin. Lightly rest or on your thigh. Bending your left elbow deeply. Use it to help you rotate your torso so that once again you're facing forward with your sternum chest and your belly button. And then going a little deeper, reach your top arm up. Reach through the crown of the head and turn to look up to complete your pose. Both legs are firm, knees are lifting, belly is drawing in, and the breath is flowing smooth and deep. Now imagine someone has a hold of your top fingers. They're going to help you come back up. Take a deep breath in to come back up to Parsva Hasta Padasana. Turn your feet to face forward and move to side B. Turn your left foot out 90 degrees. Angle your right foot in about 60. Take a peek down at your feet and make sure that your front heel is in line with the back arch of your right foot. And then go ahead and bring your right hand back to your hip for ease. Take a deep breath in, lift the front of the body, and then exhale as far over to the left as you can, getting the length through the lower side body, and then let your hand come down to your shin, nice and light. Bending your right elbow deeply, use it to turn the torso. So once more, your sternum bone, your belly button is facing forward. You can reach your right arm above your head, stretch the arms away from each other, reach for the crown of your head, and then turn to look up. Breathe and balance here. Notice it's a balance pose. Keep the breath flowing deep. One more. Inhale and exhale. And then you got a little helper. Going to grab a hold of those top fingers to help you come up. Inhale and rise back up. Turn your feet to face forward once more. Back to Hasta Padasana. Bend your elbows. Bend your knees. Inhale and step or hop back to Tadasana. Give your pose a little shake up. It's good work. Our next pose is called Parsvottanasana, or intense side stretch pose. We begin in Tadasana again. Bending elbows, bending knees, a little hop out this time as you inhale. Bring your hands to your hips. Turn your right foot out 90 degrees. Turn your left foot in 60 and rotate your hips so they are facing your right foot. So the pelvis is facing the right foot. The left leg is rolling back to accomplish this. Now take your hands to your waist, squeeze your elbows together, and as you breathe in, lean back and gaze up. Again, you can feel the balance aspect of this pose, Parsvottanasana. Squeeze the inner thighs towards each other, and it might bring a little more ease. Reach for the crown of your head and look up. Take one more breath, and then on an inhalation, come back up. And on an exhalation, turn your feet to face forward once more. Take a recovery breath. And go to side B. Turn your left foot out 90 degrees. Turn your right foot out 60. Rotate the hips so that the pelvis is now facing the direction of your left toes. Hands on your hips, both legs straight. Squeeze the elbows together. Take a deep breath in and courageously lean back into that very strong, supportive right leg. Scissor the thighs towards each other. Reach to the crown of your head and look up. Breathing here. Feeling the stretch across the front of the body, the intense stretch. Keep squeezing the inner thighs towards each other. One final breath. And then inhale and come up. And exhale, turn to face the front of your mat once more. Bend your elbows, bend your knees, and step hop back to Tadasana. Shake it out. Good work. Now stand with your feet hips distance wide and find your blocks, 2 yoga blocks, and place them right in front of you. So with your feet hips distance wide, this is a forward extension called Uttanasana. A restorative pose after all those hard standing poses you just did. Bring your hands to your hips. Firm your thighs. Take a deep breath up the front of your body and then reach forward through the crown of your head. Get length along the spine. Bring your hands to the blocks. Bring the blocks to just outside and in front of your little toes. And then lift halfway up. Squeeze your shoulder blades together. And as you exhale, bend your elbows. Let the torso release down towards the floor. The crown of your head down towards the floor. Taking recovery breaths here. If your lower back feels tight, take a little bend in your knees and let your thighs rest. Let your thighs hold the weight of your torso. Let your torso rest on your thighs. Now come halfway up as you breathe in. Look forwards and up. Bring your hands to your hips and exhale the rest of the way up to standing. Good. Now, step your feet wide once more. This is a forward extension called Prasarita Padottanasana. It's a precursor to headstand practice if you're ever interested in standing on your head. Bring your hands to your hips. Press down into your outer heels and firm your thighs. With your hands on your hips, inhale and gaze up. 5 breaths here, taking length across the front of the body, feeling the stability in your legs, the firmness in your thighs, and the smoothness of your breath. Take one more final breath in and out. And inhale, come back up to center. Exhale, release your hands from your hips, bend your elbows, bend your knees. And inhale, step or hop your feet back together. Now we're going to move back down to seated for a few poses there. Find your blanket and place it underneath your hips. Straighten your legs. Have your strap handy. Take a look at your feet and imagine that you could be standing on them. So they're not turning in, they're not turning out. They're nice and level, all 4 points of those feet facing forward. Now bring your hands next to your hips with your fingers facing forward. This is the foundation seated pose called Dandasana, staff pose. Pressing down into the mat, lifting the chest, and breathing here. My thighs are firmly pressing down as I lift my sternum chest. Now, you do the same, but lift your arms above your head as you breathe in. Inhale and reach the arms up. This is Urdhva Hastasana in Dandasana. Pressing down into the upper thighs to reach up a little higher. Take a deep breath in, and then exhaling, pivot at the hips, and catch hold of your shins, or closer to your knees. Or if you can get to your feet and still keep your spine concave, do that. And then gaze up, pull with the arms, lift the chest, breathe here. This is Padangusthasana in Dandasana. One more breath. And then releasing back to Dandasana on your exhalation. Now find your yoga strap. You're going to place the strap around the balls of your feet for a pose called Paschimottanasana, Western stretch. The western side of our body is the back side of our body. Take your strap and place your strap right on the balls of your feet, not on the arches, on the balls of your feet. Hold the strap with both hands so you can micro-adjust your feet. And then inhale and lift your chest, lift your chin, squeeze your shoulder blades together, and draw your spine deeper into your body. As you exhale, bend your elbows out to the side, bring the torso forward, crown of the head forward, sternum bone towards your knees, and breathe here 5 breaths. Shoulders away from the ears, pressing down into the upper thighs, and enjoying your breath. Every exhalation brings the sternum bone closer to your thighs. Final breath here. Inhale, straighten your arms and gaze up. Exhale and release your strap. We've come to your final pose of this practice. It's called Shavasana. And Shavasana is a deep relaxation pose. You do this by lying down on your mat. I'm going to demonstrate it, but I'm not going to stay in it the full time. I will be silent once I've cued you into this pose. And then when it's time to come back out of the pose, I'll chime my little tinkshas, my little bells, so you'll know it's time to rise back up, okay? So I'll start you off here. Come off of the seated blanket. Take the blanket and roll it up. Place it underneath your knees. And then straighten your legs and let the knees fall open and the feet fall in. Tuck your hips underneath you and slowly lower down. If you have an extra blanket, you can place it underneath your head or your neck. Turn your palms to face up at your sides, snuggle your shoulders in, snuggle your hips in, and then close your eyes. Your arms should be slightly away from your body, so there's a little space in the armpits. Now all together, let's take a deep breath in, hold it in for a moment, and sigh it out. As if you're melting down into the earth, the way the snow is melting down into the earth right now. Moisten your lips. Then draw your tongue back into your mouth and let it rest on the lower palate of your mouth, slightly away from the sides of your teeth. So the inside of your mouth feels dark and hollow and quiet. Notice the little muscles around your eyes. Let them relax and release. Let your eyes sink a little deeper into your head now as you move into a quiet place within yourself. Bring your awareness to your nostrils. Let the nostrils gently flare as you inhale, taking the breath in, filling the body and cleansing the body. And exhaling gently and easily, letting go of what no longer serves you. Making room for something fresh and new. Another in-breath. Fill the lungs, fill the entire body. And with this exhalation, let yourself melt down a little bit more. Your inhales are light and full, expansive. Your exhales are sweet and soft and relaxing. Breathing in, I calm myself. Breathing out, I am at peace. Breathing in, I calm myself. Breathing out, I am at peace. Now make any little last minute fidgets or adjustments to your position here. And then let the body soften and surrender to gravity, surrender to the earth. And we're going to stay here for about another 10 breaths in silence. And then I will chime the tinkshas and we will begin to transition out of Shavasana. Rest now. Drawing your awareness back to your breath now. And letting the breath lead you back to your body. Little fuller inhales, little more complete exhales. And start now to bring a little motion back to your fingers and your toes. Just brushing your thumbs across your fingertips and wiggling your toes. Rotate your wrists and your ankles around in little circles, one direction and then in the other. Turn your head side to side, ear to earth, ear to earth. And then with a full breath in, sweep your arms above your head. Just take a deep, full breath right there, lying on your back on the floor in your happy place. Stretch it out. And then let it go with a sigh. Now bend your knees one at a time. Bring your feet back to the floor. Shift your hips a few inches to the left and roll all the way over onto your right side. Keep your eyes closed, curl up, round your spine. Maybe your upper arm can be a pillow. And just take a few breaths here, noticing how you feel at the end of your practice and any changes that might have happened. Take another deep breath into your back if you can. Fill those back ribs. And then using the strength of your arms, keeping your head heavy and relaxed, walk yourself back up to seated. Place your blanket underneath your hips. Cross your left shin in first. Take your right to the outside. And then bring your palms together at your sternum chest. In Namaskarasana, close your eyes and we'll dedicate our practice. And that means taking the good merit or the good karma of what you've just done here is very good. And giving it away, like putting money into the bank. And you give it to the bank and they're going to use it and you will get more back in return later. So here, dedicating your practice, you give your practice out to the world and it needs it. And you ask for it to be used for the best and highest good for all beings. And it will be returned to you magnified. That's how it works. So with your eyes closed, a little smile on your face, imagine the gift of your practice like a precious jewel. And send it out into the world, radiant and bright. And wish for this gift to be used for the best and highest good for all beings everywhere. May all beings everywhere be happy. May all beings everywhere be healthy. May all beings everywhere be safe. And may all beings everywhere be at peace. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. May all beings everywhere be happy and free from suffering. And with your eyes closed, together we'll offer one Om. Just let it vibrate in your body. It should feel good. It should be a pleasant sound. Exhale to begin, one Om. And together we inhale. Om. Bow your head. Float the backs of your hands down to your thighs so that your palms are facing up and your chest is well lifted and bright. Take a long, slow breath in to bring your chin up to center and celebrating the good that you have done here today. Exhale and flutter open your beautiful eyes. Well, thank you for joining me today. And from the light in me, I honor the light in you. Namaste. Be good and do good. Thank you.